I did not leave that night. I know that shocks people when I tell them, but I want you to understand something. Leaving in that moment, in that state, with nothing prepared and nothing documented, would have been the worst thing I could have done for myself. So I stayed, and I got to work. Daniel assumed my staying meant softening. He assumed my calm meant forgiveness was coming. He became almost relieved over the next few days, more attentive, bringing me coffee in the morning, asking about my day, touching my shoulder when he passed me in the kitchen. Every single gesture made my next move feel more justified. Here's what I did over the following 3 weeks. Quietly, methodically, without a single argument or dramatic confrontation. First, I called my attorney friend back and made it official. I hired her. I transferred everything I had documented, the notes, the dates, the receipt, screenshots I had taken of his phone the one time he left it unlocked while he showered, directly to her files. She told me I had more than enough. Second, I opened a personal bank account at a different institution. Then I transferred a portion of our joint savings into it, completely legal. My attorney confirmed it. Half those funds were mine by right, and I was simply separating them before things got complicated. Third, I made an anonymous call to the HR department at Daniel's company. I told them, calmly and factually, that a married employee was engaged in a relationship with a colleague in the same building. I gave them enough detail to investigate. I did not leave my name. He had spent 3 months making a fool out of me in that building, in front of people who probably knew, people who saw them together and said nothing to me. Nothing. Fourth, I called his mother, Eleanor. She had been like a second mother to me for a decade. She deserved the truth. And honestly, she was the one who cried. I didn't. I just told her what happened, calmly, clearly, and completely. I heard something break in her voice on the other end of the line. Daniel adored his mother's opinion of him. That phone call cost him more than he ever anticipated. On a Thursday morning, exactly 22 days after I walked up those stairs, I woke up at 5:30 a.m. I had already signed a lease on a 2-bedroom apartment across town, done it online 4 days earlier. My bags were packed and loaded in my car the night before while Daniel slept. I had already changed the direct deposit on my paycheck, already updated my emergency contact at work. I made coffee. I drank it at the kitchen table one last time. I looked around that house, the house we had picked out together, the house I had painted and decorated and filled with 8 years of a life I thought was real. And I felt surprisingly okay. Not happy, not healed, but clear, like my vision had finally sharpened after years of looking through glass. I left a single handwritten note on the counter before I walked out. 4 words. I processed it. Goodbye. I filed for divorce that same afternoon. He called me 17 times before 6 p.m, left 4 voicemails I didn't listen to for 3 days. When I finally called back, once, only once, he was already crying before I said a word. I waited for him to stop. Then I said, very quietly, "You should have thought about all of this before Tuesday." And I hung up. The divorce finalized 7 months later. He lost the house because I had the better attorney and the cleaner documentation. The HR investigation at his company resulted in a formal warning and a department transfer that essentially ended his trajectory there. Eleanor still texts me on my birthday. She sends me Christmas cards. And Kay, the woman from my bedroom, she left his life within 2 months. Turns out Daniel wasn't the kind of man who handles consequences well. Who knew? Do I still grieve? Yes. I want to be honest with you about that. Some nights the grief is still real. Not for Daniel, but for the version of my life I thought I was living. For the woman who folded his jacket off the floor and made him coffee every Saturday morning and genuinely, completely believed she was loved. She deserved better, and she finally got it. You know what I learned from all of this? The people who betray you are counting on your emotions to make you fall apart. They expect tears. They expect rage. They expect chaos they can navigate their way through. What they never expect is silence, patience, and a woman who has already called her attorney. Stay calm, stay smart, document everything, and make every single move count. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you gave everything to? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want you to know whatever you're going through right now, you are not alone.